My brother wanted to bring his nosy best friend to my wedding, but I refused and instead invited his girlfriend, which caused a huge fight. My brother is 29 years old and has been with Leah for about 2 years. We both like her. She is super nice. I am getting married next April and sent the invitations to my brother's apartment. We decided to send the invitations to the family rather than individually. For example, last Thursday, our aunt received an invitation, but it was for her family, not everyone. We met at my parents' house because for some tax reasons, only the core family was present. There, I asked my brother about Leah's dietary restrictions. I know she's a vegetarian for health reasons and can't eat certain raw vegetables. He said she wasn't coming and he was bringing his girlfriend Amanda instead. Now they have a weird relationship. It seems to me that Amanda has always been playing with my brother, and he always denies having feelings for her, but to be honest, Amanda would date other people and dump my brother. When her relationships hit a crisis, she would come back to my brother. When her last boyfriend broke up with her, my brother and his ex-girlfriend Amanda were planning a trip to Spain with her ex-boyfriend. What did my idiot brother do? He went alone with Amanda because Amanda felt uncomfortable with his ex-girlfriend. Obviously, he acted like a blind man when his girlfriend broke up with him. I didn't even say anything because it was all so strange. It was so strange that when he mentioned it, I asked Leah if she already had other plans, but my brother said Amanda had asked if she could come because it would be a chance to finally meet old friends from the same circle of friends in high school. I told him that if I wanted Amanda to come, I would invite her. Amanda is mean and cold, and she is always making derogatory comments about other girls at every occasion. About an hour later, she would make a scene, either running off crying or sitting at a table angrily telling everyone to leave her alone, then making cryptic comments about what had hurt her. I told my brother that I was withdrawing his name as a bridesmaid and that Amanda would not be coming to our wedding. He accused me of misogyny and paranoia because I didn't understand friendships between the sexes. That was complete nonsense. My husband has a childhood friend who is his best female friend. I like her too. She's great and respectful. Bea always included me and made a huge effort to include me in the group when I started dating my fiancé. Anyway, I said my decision was final and he could either accept it or not, but I would invite Leah myself because I like her. He yelled at me to leave him alone. I said, he has these weird feelings for Amanda. He's mad at me. My dad says it's none of our business. My mom is mad at my brother. So Ada edited to answer some questions. The invitation was sent to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's funny that Leah has the same last name as us. Of course, we have one of the most common last names. Yes, they live together. The tax issue is no big deal. My parents have a small business, but really aren't good at keeping track of all the receipts. So every month we go in and help them organize the receipts and enter them into the bookkeeping software for the accountant to update. I listen to both of the top shows on my commute every day, so I was very surprised when you replied to my post. Thanks for your insight on the invite. I now realize I shouldn't have invited one person, but a family. It would have been more fun and less stressful for the guests. Lesson learned, haha. I would like to share an update with you. After the argument, I didn't hear from Leo or my brother for about 2 days, but Amanda contacted me, upset about my Reddit post. She called me out and insisted that Leah was not the only special woman in my brother's life. She felt that neither Leah nor I had the right to be selfish with my brother, claiming that she had existed before Leah or any of his girlfriends and would outlive them all. She ended by presumptuously saying that she would definitely come to my wedding. I was furious, and instead of responding to her other comments, I told her clearly, "Hello, Amanda, if you want to see old friends, please arrange a coffee date when they are all in town. If you show up at the wedding, the staff will escort you out safely or the police will intervene. Please do not contact me or my husband again." Amanda sent a few more emails, mostly vague threats and insults, and turned to Instagram to attack me indirectly. She tagged me in posts, shrinking my username so people wouldn't notice I'd been tagged, but would see it in my notifications. She also used question mark stickers in her Instagram stories, and I'm pretty sure she asked herself leading questions, the most prominent of which was, "What's the perfect outfit for a wedding?" and attached a photo of herself and a dress captioned, "But sadly, I'll never be able to use it," and "What do you hate the most?" followed by a rant about meddlesome people who think they have the right to control others. She filled her story with sad quotes about no longer having a girl, and she tagged me in every message, which I of course screenshot. Haha. When Amanda started spreading another story, some friends reached out to me, claiming that I had initially invited her, but then uninvited her because Leah hated her and forced my brother to do the same. The coolest part is that no one believed her. Many of our old high school friends have cut Amanda off, and the few who still talk to her prefer to contact my brother. They reached out to me to let me know that Amanda was spreading rumors. They blocked her after she vented to them, which caused Amanda to start bombarding their phones. My brother was panicked and thought I had started a campaign against her. Speaking of my brother, he called and texted me repeatedly, furious at me for ostracizing Amanda and even blaming me for any harm she might have caused. He even called our mother, saying Amanda was depressed and threatening that if anything happened to her, he would never forgive me. My mother advised him to call and request a welfare check if he really cared, because as an untrained person, he was incapable of handling the situation. The biggest development was that my brother was kicked out of the department they worked in together. Leah called me to say that the relationship between them might not continue and that she might not want to come to the wedding. I understood her decision and was willing to listen. We met for coffee, and she recounted their ugly quarrel without disclosing all the details. Leah was unreserved, and she asked my brother to read aloud every text message he and Amanda had exchanged, and to send one of them to a male friend of hers, who replied, "Leah, this is terrible. This is definitely not okay." She used this as proof that their interactions were at the very least inappropriate and in fact an emotional entanglement. When my brother begged her to stay, she asked him why, knowing full well that he would always choose Amanda, but he swore that he was not. His immediate reaction to Amanda's hysterical phone call about me bullying her proved otherwise. He was in the other room consoling Amanda when Leah left. Later, she texted him that he needed to move out while she was away, that it was her apartment, that she didn't want to see him until certain conditions were met, to sever ties with Amanda completely, and to seek therapy to address his unhealthy patterns. The fight lasted 2 days and was very intense. Leah found solace in your podcast and in the comments here. She describes it as surreal but helpful. She sends her regards and hopes that someone in a similar situation knows something. Don't be afraid of being alone, because being with the wrong person can make you feel more alone than being single. Never start a relationship with someone who can't change their mindset, because it usually ends in heartbreak. Prioritize yourself and know when to walk away while trying to work things out. Don't depend on it, because it sounds like a soap opera with all the twists and turns, but my daily life is surprisingly calm. I think my brother really needs to grow up and either commit to Amanda or realize he's being played for a fool. Amanda, please grow up and leave me alone. We got the call last night that he'd been in a car accident abroad. My father and I are on our way there as we speak, and it was almost impossible to get regular tickets, so we started driving at 5 a.m. He was on holiday with Amanda to relax. Amanda didn't even call us. I don't know if she's still with my brother or if she's hurt too. My brother's phone is broken, so he can't contact us. The nurse has been keeping us updated, wishing her soul well. He can't even talk to us. I guess I'm writing this because I don't know what else to do. My dad doesn't want to talk. I don't know if he's angry or worried or both. I've never seen that expression on his face before. My brother is an idiot because he is selfish and will hurt a lot of people, but I still don't want him to die. He is my brother, and thank God he is still alive. Amanda is not here. This has definitely been a bad week. My brother is alive, but not doing well. We are under a lot of stress because of insurance issues. He and Amanda went to a country that is not part of the European Union, and of course he didn't take out any travel insurance, so we have to pay the costs first and hope that his insurance will reimburse us. But as you know, if they owe you money, you may have to wait 8 to 18 months to get it. My mom and Leah are trying to figure out a solution to this problem. Amanda went to the hospital yesterday. She had to go to the police station because of the car accident. My brother is not in the hospital because of the car accident, but because of sepsis. A urinary tract infection caused a kidney infection, which in turn caused sepsis. They decided to go on vacation to relax. About 4 days later, my brother started feeling feverish and unwell. Amanda said she offered to drive him to the hospital, but he refused. I'm not sure if she's telling the truth, but this is the first time I've seen her be sincere. They went out for drinks, and when they got home, he took some painkillers. Amanda couldn't tell me exactly what they were, but she said it made her very worried because you shouldn't mix medication and alcohol. They started arguing, and then my brother fainted. I don't know why she didn't call an ambulance. She couldn't explain it either, but when my brother arrived too, she shoved him into the car. Amanda said she was in a panic, and when they arrived at the hospital, she hit a roadblock and her brother's phone, which she was holding, flew out the window. Amanda decided to run into the clinic to find someone and stayed in the car until the police arrived. Afterwards, they did not let her in because she was not family, and instead of calling us immediately, she went back to their Airbnb and told me that she needed a little time to process everything and that she had to go to the police, pay for the damage, and then go see my brother. But frustratingly, Amanda decided she needed to sort her thoughts and left my brother alone in the hospital for a day. She checked into a nearby hotel to rest. She didn't tell us where she was until she showed up at the hospital yesterday. She seemed a little more relaxed, like she had everything under control. When we questioned her about why she left my brother, she said I just needed some time to sort my thoughts. Meanwhile, my brother is lying in a hospital bed in a foreign country, unable to contact us because his phone was broken in the accident. Efforts are underway to arrange the logistics of getting him home and ensure that he receives the medical attention he needs. Amanda, on the other hand, seems more concerned about how the whole situation is affecting her inner peace. She even posted a photo of her hotel room with a caption like, "Desperately in need of rest." This is truly a nightmare, and Amanda's actions, while not malicious, are adding to our stress. Is doing his best to support my brother, who is struggling physically and emotionally, worrying about the mounting medical bills, his REC-Y, and the strain this is putting on our family, not to mention his fear that Amanda is losing interest in him, which is only adding to his anxiety. That's why we need to be kind to Amanda so as not to add any pressure to my brother. Focus on providing him with the best care and getting him home safely. Now, my fiancé and mother are having an affair behind my back, which has led to my brother forcing me to confront them and leave them. My fiancé is 25 and I'm 24, and we've been together since we were 17. To be honest, he's always been kind, handsome, and fun, and everyone says I'm so lucky to have everything. I feel very lucky too. He's always been loving and respectful, so this is also shocking to me. I always had a very close relationship with my mother, and we were always inseparable. My father died in an accident when I was very young. We always joke that we're the real-life version of Rory and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. My mother dated a few men from time to time, and they were usually cool, but nothing ever came of it. About 4 years ago, my mother told me she was pregnant, which came as a big surprise to me. My mother was about 42 at the time, and although she had recently been dating someone, she had never met the man, but knew she had been dating him, which still shocked her very much. She had never thought she would be able to get pregnant at her age. She was very young when she got pregnant with me, and I could see that she was under a lot of pressure and was very worried. I decided to support her because she had always supported me and tried to reassure her. She later gave birth to my younger brother, who is now 3 years old. I have a very good relationship with my brother. I have looked after him since he was born, and I really like the little guy. My fiancé also always helped me look after my brother. We took him for ice cream, to the playground, to the swimming pool in the summer, etc. But it was all very normal. He was just my boyfriend at the time and looked after my brother with me. Later, I found myself living with my fiancé after graduating from university. My fiancé often went out with his friends while I stayed at home. I didn't want to go out. I just wanted to relax on the sofa. While I was binge-watching a TV series on Netflix, my laptop suddenly died. I was too lazy to get the charger, so I took my fiancé's. I knew the password, but to be honest, I had never used it before. After logging in with the iPad, I received a bunch of messages, and I guess he hadn't used it for a while either. Anyway, it caught my attention, and I opened the computer to check it out and found everything. There was no phone number under my mom's name, but I recognized the number and verified it with my phone. She told him she felt guilty and I should know. He said he felt guilty too, but losing me, they had second thoughts. She said it was unfair that my brother would never know his father, and I broke down when she said if he could live as a son, not like a father, but like a brother-in-law, I would be fine. I broke the truth. There wasn't a lot of old news there, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mom pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in an album. I cried for a long time, and I waited for my BF to come home. I wish I was the kind of woman who could pretend and put everything in order before facing a liar, but I couldn't. He came home later that night, 23:30. I gave him the iPad. The conversation had opened, and I saw his face completely white. I asked him to explain why. He didn't want to say at first, but I knew he had to. Apparently a few years ago, when I was traveling with a few friends, my fiancé had dinner with my mom. It wasn't surprising. Because he had been in the family for a long time, sometimes my mom and fiancé would have dinner at our house together. Even when I was busy with sports or out, I did the same with his parents. Somehow he couldn't explain it clearly, it just happened. They ended up sleeping together. They felt guilty, but not enough, apparently. They slept together twice, and then 3 more times under the pretext of meeting to discuss how to tell me. Apparently, when my mother became pregnant, they stopped sleeping together and decided not to tell me because my fiancé loved me and didn't want to lose me, and my mother didn't want to lose her daughter, so we now have the 2 most annoying people. I apparently dissolved the engagement, told my mother never to speak to me again, and moved in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother because I really love him, but I can't be there for him right now, and I feel like it will remind me of the times we talked about having kids. I'll just be the mom. We've been talking about this future since we were 17, so it makes me want to throw up every time I think about actually talking about how I'll be raising his kids with someone else while still harboring these dreams. Update W, I didn't expect to get so much support. To be honest, I'm still a mess, but after reading the comments, I feel better, like therapy, so thanks again for the updates, because I was worried that I would indeed run into him near the office this week. I knew it would happen sooner or later, but thought I had more time. My ex-husband is the one who found me after work yesterday, Wednesday. Walking to where my car was parked, my ex-husband kind of hovered around. I thought about running away, but to be honest, at that moment I felt strong enough to overcome it rather than let it hang over me, waiting to approach me again. He asked if we could talk, and I said yes, but I didn't want to have coffee and chat like old friends. It felt ridiculous, so I told him to just say it there. We were in the street, but somehow it wasn't Claw there, but also not completely alone. It felt okay. He basically said sorry 100 times, that I deserved better. I agreed. He said he did love me and still does, but he can understand why I don't want anything to do with him. He said if I really consider giving him a chance, he will go to therapy alone or together or both, and he will try to win back my trust. I told him it's impossible, the damage is too great. It may sound calm when I type it, but I was much more intense and harsher in my tone. Anyway, he did say that he was or would be getting custody, and the process of getting partial custody from my brother was a bit murky, and that he did want to be his father. He said he didn't want to be with my mom, that it was just a stupid mistake, and of course, from 4 to 5 years old, mistakes are just a thing, and he couldn't explain why he did it. I don't think he even knows himself. I asked him if he had cheated on me, and he said no. I wasn't sure if I should believe him, but he sounded honest. I asked him why he didn't confess, and he said that after the fact he always panicked and was afraid of losing me, and just didn't want to admit it. I told him that sooner or later things would have been discovered, and how was he going to keep my brother around while ignoring their relationship forever? He said he hadn't thought far enough ahead, and that he basically had a live and let live attitude. I asked him if he felt that my mother was saying that Ed was him, and he said it was mutual, which made me want to throw up again. I asked him if he had contacted my mother, and he said yes, but mainly about my brother without going into detail. I didn't press for more information, and he said he told his parents the day before or 2 days before, not sure if it was Tuesday. His parents were unhappy about everything, but they were happy to start a relationship with my brother now, their grandson. Honestly, it all felt like a blow to the stomach. I don't know why my parents contacted me, but he told them to wait until he contacted me first, which is why he is here. I said that if he had started thinking about custody before me, he said no, but I found that he needed a push, and it seems that I helped him solve the problem together. He has been dealing with all that mess for the past week, which is why he called and didn't try to see me before he seemed defeated, but the whole thing makes me feel angry in addition to sad. I was mainly frustrated before, but now I'm angry. I feel that he is still in a good place, and that he has paid for his actions. Apart from me leaving him, he has my brother, parents, and other people to continue with their lives, whereas I have lost everything. I hate him. We broke up on bad terms, and I told him never to come near me again. I've had enough. He told me to go and see my brother, but I'm important to him, and he tried to deceive me, but succeeded. But I still think I can. I don't know about my mom. I really hope she doesn't come looking for me soon because I'm too angry to deal with it right now. Today, I think it's time to contact my family and friends. After my conversation with him, I got the extra push I needed. Update 2. I started by posting this message on my family's Facebook group, which is where we share news from my mother's side of the family. I took your advice from the last post and said something. I want to tell you that my wedding to ex-husband permanently canceled because I found out that my mother had had sex with my ex-boyfriend's name over the past few years and gave birth to my little brother as a result. I knew nothing about this and only found out about it last week. The reason for the relationship with my mother and ex-boyfriend is obvious. Thank you for your understanding. I felt I should let you know the situation because I value transparency and honesty above all else. I have also attached the message from my mother. I told her that I found out that she managed to write back before I blocked her, and I didn't open the message until just before the explosion. I don't want to hear from her, and I don't want to be convinced. After the explosion, my family contacted me via text message and phone calls all day long. I would like to say that most people are very supportive of me, and I can tell that they are just shocked. There is some neutrality and some skepticism. It's not all. Maybe I misunderstood my grandparents. Maybe you misunderstood. It's not surprising, because my mom and my grandparents are very close. Like I said before, my mom has always been a good mom, so there is no danger. I will move in with my cousin, who is more like a sister to me. I hadn't contacted her before because I knew that once she knew everyone would know, which is why I went to my friend, my cousin, who felt heartbroken for me and offered to let me stay with her and her 2 kids until I got on my feet. I accepted and will move next week. I'm a little worried that it will make it easier for my mom to find me, but I can't stay at my friend's place forever. I then proceeded quickly to post a similar message from we share most of our friends since high school and local university friends on Instagram. I created a close friend story and tagged most of them too. This went sortie of viral in our friend group. Actually, one of my friends sent me my Reddit post and asked if this was me. I confirmed. They were also shocked and speechless. They never thought my ex would even remodelido anything like this. They said he was crazy about you. Oh well, apparently he. Some friends are completely on my side, while others don't think it's true. I told everyone who contacted me that if they didn't believe me, they could ask their friends if they had asked for custody of my brother, which temporarily shut them up. My ex-husband deleted his social media, and apparently my ex-husband's parents also called me, which I think they will do. They were very kind to me and very sorry for what happened. I have a feeling that they are also very overwhelmed and disappointed. However, it is clear that they will support their son. They are very unhappy with my mother and do not want to have anything to do with her, but I don't know if this will work for my brother and the others. They tried to provide me with information about custody and what my ex-husband was doing now, but I quickly refused and told them that any information I wanted to move on, and I also asked them not to contact me in the near future. I needed to keep my distance, especially if they supported my ex-husband, who was living with his parents. After the explosion, both my ex-husband and my mother tried to contact me. They tried to call my friends, but she blocked them and also contacted me from different numbers. I had to silence my phone and ignore everyone, but my mother sent me a long text message from another number. It was a strange text message. She said I was heartless and she didn't think I was raised that way. She said she thought our relationship was better than me just throwing my clothes around without consulting her first. She didn't make things clear. She did mention something that confused me. She said in her long text message that she slept with my ex-boyfriend because he reminded her of my dad. She didn't mean to use him to heal her wounds, but she wasn't strong enough. I don't even know what that means, if she thinks my ex looks like my dad, or has my dad's personality, or if I've seen a picture of my dad. Well, my ex doesn't look like my dad, but he doesn't look like my dad either. I mean, they have brown/dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, and fair skin, but that's not uncommon. I don't know what else there is that I don't know that's confusing me, and honestly, it makes me want to talk to my mom to see what she can say that I haven't already thought of. I'm holding up pretty well, not crying every minute and not wanting to kill them, but I'm still sad and frustrated and feel like my life is either a big joke or a nightmare that I'll wake up from and be normal. I also need to really start planning my future and start applying for jobs in other cities, or more seriously consider the possibility of going abroad. I might take 2 or 3 days off to really clear my head and do some research. I feel terrified, but I know I need to start moving. The first commenter says mom is hilarious.